I'm going to talk about something that most people don't like to talk about, math, which is my favorite subject of all time. I love math. And the reason I'm talking about math is because Trump has proposed a 50-year mortgage plan. Now, this is news. It's interesting. Now, if you don't know what a regular mortgage plan is, a regular mortgage plan, 30-year mortgage plan, is very simple, very easy to understand. It's you take a loan from the bank and you pay off that loan throughout more interest as it goes on. Essentially, when you hit 30-year mortgage plan, you may be paying upwards of about an extra $300,000 than the house's actual cost based on interest alone. This has caused a lot of people to not enjoy that, but they end up owning their house at the end of the 30-year plan. But a lot of people struggle and stress out about this because that's a lot of money. That's just a lot of guala dollar bills. But Trump says, well, if we make it 50 years, they'll have to pay $500,000 now over the course of all that time, which is interesting. And I think this is hilarious because basically you're just renting. You have essentially made renting. That's all it is. You don't own the house. You just rent the house for 50 years. Essentially, that's what you're doing. So that's the main critique there. But I'm going to show you what it is. I want to make sure you guys don't think I'm lying. So I'm going to show you some news articles here. So this is what we got. What is a 50-year mortgage? Trump under fire for latest idea to tackle housing costs. So I explain what it is, bada bing, bada doom. A standard 30-year mortgage rate fixed rate is popular from house due to its stability and low monthly payments over the set period of time. Some Trump allies have praised the 50-year mortgage plan for lower costs for young homeowners. But critics have argued that 50 years will leave Americans in debt for most of their lives, which it would. It would leave you in debt like crazy. That's just math. I don't even know how to describe that better. It's just math. It's so unpopular that very popular conservative man that I hate with my whole chest, Matt Walsh, says this just means your house will be owned by the bank until you die and after, which I agree. And then this is really fun. He somehow turns this racist. I don't even know how he did it. He said, and I quote, "We don't need 50-year mortgages." I agree. "Get the illegal immigrants out of our country. Give America back to Americans." I don't even know how he did it. It's gotta be the greatest thing I've ever seen. But I've never seen someone complain about housing and then loop it back into racism somehow. That's impressive. So we have other people speaking on this as well. We have, so you can't afford a 30-year mortgage plan, but you're going to take out a 50-year mortgage plan to pay $300 less a month, but pay $500,000 more to the bank by the end of the loan? That's correct, Dave. Beautiful, isn't it? Isn't that fun? You're going to pay $500,000 more. It's cool. It's really fun. Now, this is my favorite one. Usually, this specific account would always be die hard for Trump. Always. I don't have any comment on the 50-year mortgage, except you don't have to get one if you don't want one. Now, very interesting about Cat Turd is that this person, every time, is always, I mean always, on Trump's side. Always. Every single time. Always find some way to tie into conservatism. Always doing that. Always talking about conservatism. Always cool. Talking about Pelosi being a crook, all this stuff. But even he couldn't find anything to say that's positive about the 50-year mortgage. Even the patriotic blonde, obviously a conservative woman, we got it. We can check her bio and say, constitutional conservative, journalist, legal diva, Italian American, who should be deported. Italy's not in America. There is zero difference between having a 50-year mortgage and renting. Prove me wrong. I agree. A broken clock is right twice a day. I agree. And then here goes my favorite one. This is my favorite one. You know who's going to purchase the 50-year mortgage? Immigrants. I don't even know where did this come from. Immigrants that pack the home in with the entire extended family. America is finished unless you shut down the border. This is not up for discussion. This is the funniest thing ever. And he's even more racist in the comments. This just happened down the street from me. 500K home, and now there are 7 cars and 4 work trucks parked there all the time. What is their ethnicity? Oh my goodness. Oh my god. It's so fun because they can't say, well, this is a stupid idea. Obviously, it's a dumb idea to make a 50-year mortgage plan. That's dumb. But what's really funny is that people want to own things in America, and Trump is not fulfilling any of the promises he said he was going to. He's been talking about giving people stimulus checks. Oh my god, the Trump stimulus thing is still so funny because everybody is saying,
well, won't this hurt the economy if we do another stimulus package? And they said, nah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Trump is giving $2,000. It's a dividend. It's a dividend. Everything's funny right now. A dividend. Trump promises 2,000 tariff dividend for most Americans, not high income Americans, but most Americans. Everything is really funny. So I'm going to talk about this because this is really fun to me. The idea of a 50-year mortgage term, which Trump has floated around the idea, he's talking about it. It's not set in stone. It sounds super seductive at first, right? For affordability. It's the math shows that stretching the, oh my God, what's the word I'm looking for? Amortization from the typical 30 years to 70 years, it would lower monthly payments. For example, I'll give you an example. A $400,000 loan at 6.5% drop monthly principal and interest from about $2,528, that's be a 30-year term, to a $2,300 on a 50-year term. So instead of $2,500, you pay $2,300. About a small difference between those two, right? Like $200. And that would help so many people because that $200 matters, right? It would matter. But that's math. That is me doing literal math right now. People are struggling for rent and initial home ownership. That drop could feel amazing. That extra $200 could buy them maybe a week of groceries. That'd be cool. In the short term, that's the good part. More immediate access, more breathing room. And I think that people don't do math when or at least Donald Trump doesn't do any math when he proposes these things because he just says whatever he wants to. Trump tapping into that breathing room, it makes political sense. If you're running a housing crisis era narrative, offering something new and seemingly bold, 50-year mortgage, gives you a visible fix. I see the cost of pressure. I will act. That's how he operates. So on the surface, it works as a policy headline. Lower your monthly costs, you get in the door. So that's the short-term win. People like simpler monthly bills. And this definitely offers that. You just extend it longer. I'm sure many of you may have bought a car and you finance it, and over time you pay off that car, and you realize that the longer the term goes on, the more you pay for that car because the interest rates are higher, especially if you have bad credit. They make you pay more dollars. For instance, if you buy a $20,000 car and your monthly payments are $300, you're going to end up paying over 72 months. You see, maybe you have a 72-month financing deal. You're going to end up paying so much more for that car. You're going to end up paying maybe $100,000 extra. No, let me phrase that better. $50,000 extra for that car. That's what happens. But here's where the cracks show, right? A 50-year mortgage means you're paying much, much longer, and you're building equity much slower. If you ask any analyst that over the life of the loan, the total interest paid balloons. For the same $400,000 loan example, the 50-year term could add $500,000. That's what I keep talking about because they know math. They just know basic math. That's basic math. That's what it is. You would add an extra $500,000 is what you do. So you might get in sooner. You might get into the house sooner, but your ownership, your asset building, your long-term wealth acclimation suffers. That's the long-term trade-off. And that's been, to me, the entirety of the Trump presidency each time. It's just this short-term win. We don't care about what's going to happen afterwards. We just care about what's happening right now. And that's all Trump wants to do, what's happening right now. I think it's because he doesn't have that much longer to live, so he's trying to do as much as possible to mess it up for everybody afterwards. That's really fun. The legal and regulatory foundation is not ready for this. Under current U.S. rules, I believe it's the, Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and the Consumer Protection Act. I believe it's the qualified mortgage rule. I believe that's what it is. It's the whole thing. 40 or 50 40-year mortgages are generally not allowed. They would pose greater risk. That's the whole thing. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. It doesn't help affordability. It doesn't help it at all. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean, because I feel like people don't know what I'm talking about when I say this stuff, because I went to school for this. So it wouldn't help affordability. This is what it wouldn't help. It would not help at all. While the lower mortgage term reduces the monthly payment, it also removes the amount of equity. It's basically what I'm saying. It is the Dodd-Frank thing. It's the whole thing. Yeah, you can't do this. You can't do that. You genuinely can't do. It's currently illegal under the qualified mortgage law, so that would have to change as well. It is literally illegal. It is literally illegal. What he's proposing, you literally cannot do. It is impossible to do so. It's funny. And I feel like nobody's talking about it in that frame that it's actually illegal. But what do I expect from a convicted felon? Right? Because he's a convicted felon. In the immediate frame, you could argue, well, longer term equals cheaper payment and more homeowners. So he could boost the number of homeowners, making it look good. And then more homeowners, more stability, less rental pressure. That can help. It might be a placebo effect. It might reduce forced rentals and offer a path into home ownership. And that's the good part. There's still a systemic issue of the 50-year. It's not a fix. It's not a fix. It's not a fix. It's not a fix. And then also consider the macro risk. Extending terms doesn't address supply shortages, zoning constriction, rising construction costs, interest rate volatility, regional housing mismatches. It addresses the symptom, which is high monthly payment, but not the root, the lack of affordable supply, regulatory burdens. So it's just nothing but just these weak placebos. And in fact, critics say it may delay necessary deeper reform. We're making it worse. If you lull everyone into thinking a 50-year mortgage fixes housing affordability, you may reduce potential urgency to fix zoning, reduce regulatory costs, increase build volumes, or invest in public housing. It's not going to happen. It's going to be bad. And political optics aside, the financial risk is real. I don't care about the political stuff. This is now my area, which is finance. It is bad. If interest rates remain elevated or rise further, a 50-year mortgage exposes borrowers to even more cumulative interest payments. The longer the term, the more vulnerable you are to economic shocks over a longer horizon. Recessions, job changes, health crises. If you don't have a consistent house that you own, you're screwed. You're completely done. And this is why the big issue is that previous homeowners this is going to sound really nuts, just hear me out. Previous homeowners can give their children the houses. So if you already own a home or have owned a home, right, then you're in luck because houses were cheaper back then by a wide metric mile. And now houses are basically unaffordable. So to sum up everything that I'm saying, Trump's 50-year mortgage works if you're an idiot. If you're stupid, it works. It's just short-term relief that does nothing. It's too much things. Slower equity build, longer indebtedness, risk of market inflation, distraction from deeper structural reform. A good idea if you measure it by only get more people in homes today. A bad idea if you measure it by build sustainable wealth, solve affordability, and not just spread it thinner over more years. That's literally what's happening here. This is bad. This is really, really bad and really funny that his base is actively upset about this. He's only good with immigration because he's such an asshole about it. He's so evil with immigration that it's looking good to most people. So that's all I gotta say about the entire thing. He's only good with immigration. So yeah. But thank you for reaching the end of the video. This is for people that want to help me now. I put a link in the top comment for my GoFundMe. If you want to donate, any dollar helps. That'd be outstanding. This is now my full-time job. So I have a GoFundMe to help my family because I lost my job because of a Charlie Kirk situation. So yeah, appreciate you if you want to help. You don't have to if you don't want to. That's why I put it at the end of the video. In any sense, thank you guys so much for checking my video out. I'm out. Peace. Bye.
I'm your nigga night, be my loyalties low. Ooh, happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. Ooh, I love the ride.